A best friend. What's up, folks? Justin Garcia, a.k.a. Master Chim, and I'm here with the white friend, Patrick Kelly, white boy. Pat.
What's up?
And welcome to another episode of The Pressure Project. ThePressureProject.com is our website. Info@thepressureproject.com is our contact email. The Pressure Project members is our membership site. And last site, I promise, theloyaltymatrix.com. Check it out. So today we're going to talk about friends. We're going to talk about what it is to mean to be a friend, to be a best friend. Hey, this is Johnny. He's my best friend. Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Does it mean anything? We're going to break it down.
Awesome.
And I've decided to use a sort of a very special qualifier or a filter, if you will.
Yes.
To discuss the points that I want to expound upon with this.
Yeah.
But let's first talk about what a friend is.
Okay.
Okay, so I got a definition.
Yes.
A friend is a person whom one knows, likes, trusts, and is allied in a struggle or cause.
Yeah.
A comrade.
Comrade.
If you're a communist. So
yes.
A friend is not a mystery. Everybody knows, what a friend's supposed to be. It's a friend, a buddy, somebody I know. We share a mission, right? Something to that effect. But the term and the title is a best friend.
Best friend.
And it's in that transition from what we understand to be a friend to using the label best friend that I think so many people just go off target.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's my take on it. My take on it is we say a best friend when in fact, in practice, we mean closest friend.
Yeah. Generally speaking, yes.
Right? So it's not the person who is, of my friends, of the set of friends, the person who is performing the task of being the friend the most effectively.
Yeah.
That would be the best friend.
Technically,
right?
yeah.
If I own a restaurant
and
I say this is my best cook.
Yeah.
Is it the cook closest to my office?
No.
Right?
He's the one who performs.
Who cooks the best food.
Yeah.
Right? Who fulfills his identity to the most effective level.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
But we don't use that for best friend.
Oh, I guess we do.
Well, we do, but you know what I mean. The we.
Yeah.
We got to include the rest of
the royal we. No, they do not.
The royal we. So we want to talk about, I should say, get back to what it means to be a friend and how we can aspire to be a good friend in comparison to the average friend, a best friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that I aim to be the best friend to all my friends.
That makes sense.
Because it follows the logic, right? If I'm
yeah.
Go ahead.
If you're going to be someone's friend, you want to be a very good friend.
Exactly.
A best friend.
You want to do it right.
You want to be a mediocre friend.
Right. This is my men's a friend. This is my
worst friend.
My worst friend right here. We're still friends, but he's teetering.
He shits on the carpet every time he comes over. It's like, kid, terrible.
Living on the edge. This guy.
He's living on the edge.
But the best friend is something that obviously, I think we should all aspire to be.
Yeah. Makes sense.
There was a time, I don't know it, but I read about it. I hear about it. There's a time where men, were men of their words.
Interesting.
Men could be relied upon for certain, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accountability?
Not accountability. I'm asking you to help me. I'm criticizing you for trying to help me. I guess benefits. I just wanted to avoid saying benefits because it sounds fucking gay.
Okay.
Men could rely on other men for certain tasks.
Yeah.
For certain, I guess,
roles
and assistance.
Yeah.
And they expected other men to be able to perform a certain role in their lives as a friend.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's not, can you loan me $5 till tomorrow? It was, my house is falling apart. Can you help me build a new one?
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
sure, no problem. Let me get my hammer. I'll be right out there.
Yeah.
And we'll proceed to work for 2 weeks building somebody's house.
Yeah.
And everybody helped everybody, which gets to the sort of core of what I think being a friend actually is about, right? So I'm the tribe guy, right? We're the tribe matters guys.
Of course. Yeah.
And I think when it comes to being a friend, I think that's where it's rooted, and I think we have to keep it there.
Agreed.
Right? So being a friend is actually facilitating the ability of your tribe to be as strong as it could be.
Yeah. It's not a take. It's a give and take.
Right. So
Participation.
So when we talk about being a friend, when we talk about what it is that we could do for our friends in order to make our tribe better, there's a whole slew of things that we could discuss. We could discuss, what our obligations are according to our roles in our tribe. We could talk about what obligations we've committed ourselves to, with our word. We could talk about a lot of things, but I decided to use a filter of tribe that was created by another group that was based on an era, a philosophy, a mindset that we very much agree with.
100%. Yeah.
So I decided to use the 9 noble virtues.
That sounds familiar. I think we've done an episode.
We may have done an episode.
It's
on
possible. Yeah, let's do one.
So the 9 noble virtues was created by a group called the Odinic Rite, and they are an Odinist group who based these virtues off of the lives, the lifestyle, the philosophies, the society of the, Northern Germanic, people who worship the gods of the Norse Germanic pagan pantheon, Odin, Thor, those gods, those deities who so many of us are familiar with at different varying degrees of knowledge. So what I decided to do was how best to describe what I think is going to be the framework for a strong society, and therefore the mission, the goal, the moral compass of what a friend should be, then the Odinic Rite's 9 noble virtues.
100%, yeah.
Right, and a reflection on the society, that came from it. So we have these virtues, and what I plan on doing is we're going to go through each one. We're going to describe how this makes us a better friend, or how this shows us how to be a better friend.
Correct, yeah.
That makes sense?
That makes 100% sense.
Okay, so we're going to start off with courage.
Courage.
So when you are a friend to somebody, courage is something you want to display. It's something you want to do. It's something that you actually want to perform. Courage being putting yourself in harm's way in the face of adversity or danger or risk.
100%.
Continuing to stay committed to your friend, even though the going is getting rough.
Yeah,
right.
True.
There's been times, I remember one time I was in the projects, Edenwald Projects in the Bronx.
Nice place.
And a great place as far as projects go. And I was walking through the projects with a buddy of mine. His name was Omar.
Omar.
And Omar and I.
Nice Irish guy.
Omar lived in Edenwald.
Yeah.
And we were actually walking through Edenwald Projects to a hookie party.
Nice.
Like a bunch of kids cutting. It wasn't, I don't think it was a hookie party. I think it probably was. But it was probably like one of those days that we had the standardized tests early in the morning, had the rest of the day off. So everybody went to one of these girls' houses and we all hung out and stuff. So Omar and I are meeting the group at this other classmate's house. We come upon a group of kids in Edenwald Projects who proceed to surround us. They know who Omar is.
Okay.
And they start, it's like something out of one of these coming of age movies.
It's the Jungle Book.
Right. It's not the movie I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay.
Right to the Jungle Book. So these children,
Yeah.
human children surrounded us.
Understood.
And we're asking, Omar where he was going, started messing with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I decided to stand with him and, said, hey, why don't you guys just leave him alone?
Yeah.
We're leaving right now. We'll get out of your way, whatever I was saying. And they said, oh, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, I don't want any problems, this and that. And all I knew was that I wasn't leaving Omar.
Understood.
Like, listen, we're both going to get our ass beat, Omar, but I'm not leaving you here. I turn around, Omar's halfway up the block.
He's out.
As soon as they focused on me, Omar split. And I took a beating. And luckily they were too weak to lift this refrigerator that was like being thrown out in the garbage.
Yeah.
I saw them trying to lift the refrigerator to throw on top of me.
That's always good.
So I took my licks, and they all got tired eventually.
Yeah.
And I made it out, in relatively one piece. But that is an example of me attempting to show courage.
Correct.
And Omar not.
Omar doing the opposite of courage.
God damn it, Omar. I don't think he's on my Facebook.
No.
I'd shout him out. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of Omars on my Facebook, by the way. Don't think one of them is him.
That's funny.
Thinking, right?
Next guy to comment on your page is Omar. Like, yeah, you left him with the refrigerator. It's like, it's not the same guy.
All right, so the next is truth.
Truth.
So you want to be truthful to your friends. The reason you want to be truthful to your friends is it allows them to operate in sort of congruence with what you want them to do. If I want to have the full support, power, synergy of my friendship with another person,
Yeah.
I have to be truthful, because then his reaction is going to affect me the most effectively.
100%. Yeah.
Right? So if I'm lying, if I say, listen, I'm sick, I can't help you paint your house because I'm sick.
I'm allergic to paint.
Right?
I'd love to, though.
But then I catch you, or I find out you are, out watching a movie or something like that, or it just creates the scenario for, I don't feel that was a very strong example I just thought of, but I think it gets the point across.
And let's say helping someone move and you're like, no, I can't. I'm busy. I'm doing this with my grandmother. And then you see he's out with other people at the movies.
Right. It just
Being full of
undermines.
shit.
It undermines. And see, I didn't want to make it that weak of an example, though, meaning just, if he lies to you and you catch him, you're going to be really upset. There's actual functional influence and effect in lying to your friends. If you're sick, they're not going to rely on you. Let's say I give you an example. Hey, I'm going out tonight to the movies. You want to come? And you say, no, I'm really, really sick. It's all right. So I go to the movies. I wind up having a problem with somebody.
Yeah.
I need somebody to come and help me.
Yep.
Well, I know there's you who might be a couple of blocks away, and there's another one of our friends who might be a couple of miles away. Mm-hmm. I call him because I think you're sick.
Yeah, because
you're not going to be able to,
perform.
So there is a little bit better example.
That's good.
Of how truth plays itself out functionally in friendship. It is important to be truthful to your friends. No, I'm not talking about like, listen, you got to tell your buddies the games you and your lady play at night and stuff like that. Like, listen, keep the outfits to yourself. I'm talking about in terms of things that affect the tribe, things that affect your friendship between the two of you.
Yeah.
You should be able to rely on each other being truthful. In other words, portraying reality as realistically as you can to your friends while communicating. All right?
100%, yeah.
Next one, honor.
Honor.
So honor is a very in-tribe concept.
It is.
Right? It is the reputation that you generate and maintain amongst your group. Now, why is honor important in a friendship? Well, I would say honor is almost everything in a friendship.
It really is.
It's probably the major form of currency, in terms of friendship, is one's honor. To be honorable, to act honorably, means that I am bound by the rules, the obligations, the mission of our tribe when dealing with you.
Yeah.
It means that I remember a good friend of ours once said, talking about this topic, said, your wife could sleep in the same bed as me. And with absolute certainty that nothing inappropriate happened.
Correct.
Like these things mean things to people who matter.
They do.
People who want to live life at a level of discipline and execution that far exceeds the vermin and animals we see running rampant in today's society.
Yeah.
Well, they have rules for that. They have a mindset, an ethos, of how to conduct themselves in order to make that type of life even possible.
100%. Yeah.
Fidelity. Fidelity is loyalty. It's faithfulness. With your friends, the fidelity that I show my friends are my obligation and commitment to them above others.
Correct.
Right? I'm going to help my brother before I help a stranger.
Yeah.
And part of being a good friend to somebody is making sure that you conduct yourself in a manner that they accept.
Correct.
Right? Anticipate, expect you to act that way. Right?
Yeah. We're always going to put the tribe first, never go against the tribe.
Right. Never talk against the family.
Yeah, 100%.
So discipline.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of these virtues that are more speaking to the individual than the group at large, but they still hold merit, and I'm going to tell you why. With discipline, this could be applied in both directions. It could be applied outward and inward. Outward, the discipline allows you to make yourself or sort of allow yourself to be a player in, assume the role of something of a higher level in the existence of a tribe. If you are somebody who has no discipline, you're somebody who can never add value to the group. You're somebody who can't be relied upon to do the things necessary for a tribe to progress.
Correct.
Right? And a friendship and the identity of that friendship specifically still is bound by those rules. If I am friends with a complete loser, well, exactly how strong could this friendship ever be? The joining of two individuals in a friendship should prove fruitful, if not for the individuals, for society at large.
Yeah.
There's something that's positive that should come out of a good, strong friendship. And if one person does not have the discipline to sort of put things in order and sort of create, design, construct a series of progressive, moves in his life or accomplishments in who he is as an individual, then the friendship is doomed to have no value. It's doomed to be weak.
Yeah.
Right? And discipline is a tremendous part of that. Obviously, inward, how does it affect the friendship? Well, the more disciplined I am, the better friend I could be to you.
Of course.
I want to be a certain type of individual, and it's the type of individual, Two on Tom has said it before. I want to be the type of man that whenever something's going wrong, you want me there.
Correct, because you can improve on the situation
right.
no matter what it is.
I will make the situation better.
Yep.
And discipline starts to get at the core of what makes up a man who conducts himself like that. All right, so we have discipline.
Discipline.
So now, hospitality.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Hospitality is a huge one.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is it's something I had to learn. It's something I had to learn, and it was something I learned fairly late in life, I'll put it.
Yeah.
I have never been somebody who could stand people in general. No, it's true.
That's crazy talk.
I'm telling you, I've always had my group of friends, but even my group of friends, I was always much more of which is kind of ironic, but makes sense when you hear the whole story. I was much more of a loner growing up.
Yeah.
I was by myself a lot. I had friends. I had good friends, but I'd rather be by myself most of the time. And a lot of it had to do with me just really having not much patience for people, and me not having the open-mindedness to really see the potential benefits for having this tribe, this big group of friends. Obviously, as time went on, I started studying the things that eventually led to the loyalty matrix.
Correct. Yeah.
It became so apparent that there are certain things you could do with a tribe that you cannot do with the individual. Well, hospitality is something that is, again, at the heart of what it means to be a friend. When you are a friend, like I tell all my friends now, and I didn't always say this, you can show up at my house anytime. Nobody needs to call me. If you're my friend, you can call upon me whenever you want. Knock on my door. I'm here. I'll give you something to eat. You need a place to stay? No problem. You need to take a shower? No problem. You need to change your clothes? No problem. Whatever it is, I will make sure that I'm there to provide it for you. And that's what hospitality means. Now, you might say, oh, well, I don't want this guy popping up in my house anytime. I don't want that guy. Well, why are they your friends then?
Yeah, they're not your friends.
Why are they your friends?
Yeah.
And that is something that of worth.
It is. Yeah.
It's certainly something that people individually need to square away.
Correct.
Yeah,
the people I consider friends, and there's not a single one of them that showed up. If they showed up at my house, I'd be like, oh,
right.
Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
No, it'd be like, what's going on? What do you need? Come on in.
Absolutely.
Like hands down, no problems.
And, even with my wife, I've been married almost 12 years now. There's been a progression. And my wife, she's pretty awesome because she sticks with me. She understands that I'm a butterfly. You got to let me fly.
You're a peacock. You got to fly on this one, right. Captain.
And when I started really delving into those aspects of my life that really led to the loyalty matrix, hospitality was a big thing that also affected her.
Sure.
Because I basically came home and said, listen, from now on, like anybody shows up, like that's it. No more telling people, now's not a good time. No more. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
All that stuff's done because that's wrong. It's incorrect.
Yeah.
We've been doing it wrong. And, my wife, is awesome. She's like, okay. Like, well, whatever you want. All right. No problem. And that particular thing probably affected her more than me.
Sure.
But what's right is what's right.
100%. Yeah.
It is right.
It is. For your friends.
Right. Industriousness.
Yeah.
Why do you want your friend to be industrious? Why do you want to be industrious in order to be a better friend? Well, the person who is industrious is the person who does not settle for the status quo.
Correct, yeah.
Why would you not want to be somebody that shows your friend that you are never going to sort of back off against the pressures of life? You're going to be somebody who finds a better way, who puts himself in a position to do more, to sort of build up a resilience against that adversity over time. When you're somebody who is industrious, you become a more valuable friend to your friends because you're capable of more.
Yeah, you're solution-oriented instead of problem-oriented.
Right. You could only improve his station.
Correct.
If you're somebody who is industrious.
You're not adding problems to their lives.
Right. And I think this next one piggybacks off of that quite nicely. Self-reliance.
Yeah.
So being self-reliant means anything that I as an individual am capable of doing, I do.
100%.
And I develop.
Correct.
And I do not swap any of those things in for the sort of ability to call upon a friend to do it for me.
Yes.
Right.
You don't call your friends up and say, hey, can you come over and brush my teeth for me?
Right. And, as extreme example as that is.
Very extreme.
It really goes to why are you asking your friends to do something that you can do yourself?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because the things you could do for yourself, if you don't do them, that means there are things that your friends could do for you that you can't do for yourself that are not being done.
Correct, yeah.
Because you're so busy taking up their time doing your jobs.
Yeah.
Doing your work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So now for me as an individual, when it comes to self-reliance, I'm not very handy yet. Right? I don't know how to, I'm not a carpenter.
Yep.
I'm not an electrician. Like there are plenty of things that I've yet to learn.
Yes.
So many of my friends have that, skill set far beyond any level that I do. But I also have a certain skill set that they don't.
That's correct.
And that's the big thing. It's, not a matter of don't ever ask your friends for favors. It's sort of stay in touch with what your strengths are, what your friends' strengths are. And if you are going to use their abilities, then you better have your own abilities to share with them.
Correct.
If you're somebody who can never give anything back to them, why are you taking so much? It goes to show. Remember, we talked about what it means. Today we're talking about what it means to be a good friend, a best friend.
A best friend.
It's about maybe potentially even going through a transformation so that you could do this at a higher level.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody, getting back to self-reliance, that, by and large uses the resources of your friends, but never really has anything to provide, maybe it's time you take a step back and actually create more value in being you.
Yeah, fix yourself.
Fix yourself.
Yeah. Don't become a liability.
Right, absolutely. So the last one we have is perseverance.
Yeah.
So now perseverance is pretty much the guy that doesn't quit.
Yeah.
I know, and I have plenty of friends that fall into this category. Me knowing they're not going to quit means that anything they sort of commit themselves to, they give their word to do, I know that they're going to do it to the best of their ability. If they can't do it, they're going to be beaten down, and die trying.
Yeah.
Because there's just not going to be an opportunity for them to say no at any point.
Correct. Yeah.
We have a lot of friends that don't say no, right? That
correct. Yeah.
refuse to say no, refuse to quit, and they've been through varying levels of elite adversity.
True. Yeah.
And these are the types of guys that they it comes to perseverance. Like they're the ones when you look it up that you see in the dictionary.
100%. Yeah, they're the ones that will not quit.
Right.
100 miles an hour, will not stop.
So those are the 9 noble virtues. Again, when it comes to being a friend, a best friend, it's got to be something that we aspire to be.
Correct. Yeah.
Everybody should be a good friend. Everybody should be a black belt level friend, a master at friendship.
Yeah.
Your best friend is now a comparison between you and the other friends, but by and large, it's really, how do I sort of use my same sort of mastery filter and apply it to being a brother to my brother.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Cool.
Which is appropriate. The pressure player.
The pressure player.
For this episode. Pat and I are going to give a shout out.
Yeah.
To some of our favorite individuals on planet Earth.
Correct.
SIAC Tactical Group.
Yeah. STG.
STG.
Yeah.
STG is a group that Pat and I work with. They're some of the greatest individuals that we know.
Easily, hands down.
We work with them, for them, teaching different groups of military and law enforcement around the country. And it's an adventure, to say the least. But probably, awesome. Aside from the actual curricula of what it is that we teach and what it is that we help teach, probably the strongest part of being around STG is the brotherhood.
100%. Yeah.
It's really learning what it means.
Talks.
Right. The talks and even the day-to-day.
Yeah.
The day-to-day dealings with one another, and really seeing a group of men who emulate, these virtues in terms of friendship and brotherhood to the highest level of any group I've ever seen. Being around these individuals has changed me. I know it's changed you.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're a great sort of reset, for dealing with the monotony of regular life.
Yeah.
We go, and I can only speak for myself, but I go on a trip with the STG guys. By the time I come back, I feel like,
yeah,
I am tuned
100%.
to the universe once again.
No, that's exactly the feeling,
So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, they're the type. That's the group where, listen, I need your help. Can't ask me about it again. We're not going to talk about it. But we got to go somewhere. We got to hurt some people. And they're like, whose car are we going to take? Right. That's that.
Get in the longboat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right on. All right. So, STG guys, you guys are the best. So awesome. Now moving on to the unicorn.
Yes.
I wanted to, we were talking about STG and the pressure players. I was like, it'd be good if we could think of a specific individual or a specific group to represent, the other side of this coin. But I decided to settle on I guess the opportunity to make a commentary on a certain type of individual.
Almost a warning too.
Right.
What to look for.
Exactly. And yes men
Yeah.
is what
yes
we
men.
decided on. Yes men are people who give you a positive reinforcement, give you a positive feedback, no matter what happens.
Correct.
No matter the condition of your relationship, no matter the condition of what just transpired, what type of situation you're in, what obstacles you may be facing, they constantly just give you a disconnected communication. So somebody who always says yes, right, is just as dangerous almost as somebody who always says no.
Correct. Yeah. The negative
Right?
person.
So we always talk about the feedback loop of reality.
Yeah.
Well, you want a friend that is going to be sort of in that sort of dynamic dance of mission, of identity, and of reality. Yes men represent the type of people that are going to always opt for what you want to hear over what you may very well need to hear. And, some of my best friends, I not only remember fondly for sharing some of the great times that we have, but there are other times that I cherish where I needed to be checked.
Yeah, definitely.
I needed to be shown the error of my own ways. As an individual, one of my peeves for myself is inconsistency. You don't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
You could think I'm full of shit. You could think I'm wrong. You think I have a completely different, worldview, paradigm, morality than you are. All of that, I just don't care.
Yeah.
But if somebody says that I'm inconsistent in my positions, that's what I take issue with. Meaning I want to look inward and remedy that, because that's not who I want to be. I don't think any strong individual really hung his hat on ambiguity.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
So for me, when it comes to the opposite of what a best friend is, I think it says something that I think yes men are on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Right? They are.
So,
I mean, no. I disagree. No, I don't actually.
So a best friend, Pat.
Yeah, best friend.
Break it down.
Break it down. So take a look at the people you consider to be your friends. Do they fit the criteria we're describing, or do they not? The people you consider your best friends, are they really your best friends? Do you have an emotional attachment to them that is coming from a place that doesn't actually fit their role and what they do in your life? If so, you should probably take another look and see if you really feel they are your best friend. You don't want to let emotion ruin a situation and run your life to the point where you're surrounding yourself with people that are actually hurting you instead of helping.
Well said. So a good friend of ours once said, I don't have friends, I have family.
Yeah.
And pertaining to us as individuals and our friends, I would like to think that I don't have friends, I have brothers.
Yeah.
And I think a best friend would be somebody who sort of meets a certain minimum criteria in adhering to all of these things that we've been discussing. So there's a certain point in one's ability to be a friend where they almost transition out of being a friend and they become a brother.
Yeah.
I have many brothers, in my life. And it's because I have these brothers and I'm not relegated to just a group of friends that I feel my life is as powerful as it is. And that I've made as an individual the strides that I have. When I think back to who I was, 20 years ago, 10, even 3 years ago, I wish, and then everybody says like an almost cliche, I wish I could sit that guy down 20 years ago, that Justin Garcia, and just break it down to him, because if there's one thing that I thought that I didn't need back then, that it turns out I probably needed the most, or as brothers, right? What we can call best friends. Right? Thank you, folks, for listening. We appreciate you guys spending the time. We've been really busy lately, a lot of different projects. Hope you guys have been paying attention. Aside from the loyaltymatrix.com, which you guys can check out my Loyalty Matrix series. I have the Tribal Footprint also as a bonus video. Aside from that big project, which I'm glad we finally got done, we also have Pressure Project Radio now.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, for 3 hours, we are doing a radio show. If you are not, if you haven't signed up for the email list, the update list on the pressureproject.com, I suggest you do so. That way you could sort of stay in the loop. You know, if we're getting on doing a show, we want to be able to shoot you an email and let you know, hey, we're going to be on in an hour. Check it out if you can. So hopefully you guys are doing that. I'm glad that you made it here. Pat and I are very, very glad to have you. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. All of this equipment costs money, and you guys have been very, very, very productive in supporting the T-shirt sales, the memberships on the pressureprojectmembers.com. The Loyalty Matrix has been selling very well, and I appreciate all that support. I am somebody who does not believe in handouts. I will never have a donate button on my website.
True.
I will never be doing a fundraiser for me. You know, I need to give you something in return. So with the T-shirts, with the products, with the memberships, you guys have been very, very active, and I appreciate it greatly that the support is there. All right. So again, thank you guys for listening. Pat and I look forward to speaking to you on the next episode. And as always, brothers, pressure to power.